मैं सावरे के रंग राजी, मैं सावरे रंग राजी, साज सिंगार बांध पग घुंघरू, लोक लाज गजना के, मैं सावरे रंग राजी, मैं सावरे रंग राजी। लाज शर्म कुल की मर्यादा, सर से दूर करे, लाज शर्म कुल की मर्यादा, सर से दूर करे, बाजूबंद कानूनों सोहे, बाजूबंद
love for Krishna start and how?
When I was 3 years old, a sannyasi came to our house and gave a small idol of Shri Krishna to my father. I loved the idol very much and I wanted to have it for myself, so I asked my father, but he refused. I was so sad and disheartened that I refused to eat. Finally, my father felt sorry for me and gave me the idol. My joy knew no bounds, and from that day on, I started to lavish love on my Krishna.
I have heard that you had accepted Krishna as your husband. Is that true? If so, how old were you then?
When I was 5 years old, I saw a marriage procession passing by my house. The bridegroom was a little boy. He was dressed in beautiful garments and sparkling ornaments. When I saw him, innocently I asked my mother and my grandmother, "Where is my bridegroom?" And my mother answered, "Your bridegroom is Lord Krishna." I took them seriously, and from that day on, I started to love the Murti all the more.
Is it true that because of your love for Krishna, your family got you married at an early age? How did that happen?
Yes, that's true. I would bathe the idol, I would dress him up lovingly, I would even lay it beside me as I slept. I would often talk to my Krishna. I would sing and dance with him. When I saw that my Krishna looked sad, I would start crying and I would soon see a smile on his face. Initially, my family thought that it was all childish fancy, but later, as I continued the practice day in and day out, they started getting worried about me. So they decided to get me married. That way, I would forget this foolishness.
How old were you when they got you married? Who was your husband? And did your family succeed in their plan?
I was very young when I got married. My husband was Bhojraj, the Prince of Chittor. My marriage was celebrated with great pomp. I took my Krishna idol with me when I went to my husband's house. There, I was a very good wife. I performed all my duties and never gave a chance to my husband to complain. I performed all my household chores during the daytime, and at night I would go to the temple and sing and dance with my Krishna. Even my Krishna got up. He would play the flute and even dance with me. I was extremely happy at those times.
I have heard about your mother-in-law. Tell us how she reacted to all this.
When my mother-in-law heard that I was spending the nights at the temple, she tried to dissuade me. She told me, "Beti, now you are a housewife. You should stay at home at nights and not go out." But I couldn't listen to her. I kept going to the temples at night and singing and dancing. One day, my mother-in-law came to me and told me that I had to stop worshipping Lord Krishna and I had to start worshipping Mother Gauri because she was our family deity. When I heard this, I broke down into tears. I told her I had devoted my soul and my body to Lord Krishna and I could not stop worshipping him. I asked her for her forgiveness. She walked away sternly, but I knew secretly that she admired my steadfast devotion to my Krishna.
What about the rest of the family? I've heard that your sister-in-law had created an issue between you and your husband.
Bhojraj had a sister named Radha. She did not like my obstinacy and started saying bad things about me. One night, she told Bhojraj that I was going to the temples to meet my lovers. She even told him that she had herself heard me singing and laughing with them. She told him that he could himself go to the temple and check it out. When Bhojraj heard this, his anger knew no bounds. He pulled out his sword and rushed towards my room. When he did not find me there, he came to the temple. The temple door was bolted. He broke the door and he came inside. He found me sitting there all alone with my Sri Krishna, talking to me. I had not even noticed him or heard him coming in. So he touched me by my shoulder and asked me, "Who are you talking to?" And I asked him, "Don't you see the smiling face of my Krishna?" At that time, I saw the divine figure of my Krishna disappear before my eyes, and I fell in a swoon. Bhojraj was disgusted and he left. He thought I had lost my mind. Later, I had found that Buddha and her friends had followed Bhojraj to the temple. They saw everything that had happened with their own eyes. They felt ashamed of themselves and what they had done and said. Soon, Bhojraj forgot everything that had happened, but the people of the world started making all sorts of lies about me, spending the nights at the temples. But I did not care about such loose talk, and I continued spending my nights at the temple in my Lord's bhajan.
Interesting. I'm aware that later on your songs had become very famous and devoted people in Rajasthan had started singing them as they were sweet and full of Krishna bhakti. Also, many sadhus came to the temple and sang with her. Oh yes, that reminds me. Why don't you tell us about your meeting with Akbar and Tansen?
Emperor Akbar ruled Delhi at that time. He was a cultured monarch. He liked good poetry and pious songs. He had listened to my songs, and he liked them immensely. So he wanted to come listen to me. But the Mughals and the Rajputs were sworn enemies. The Rajputs would never allow Emperor Akbar to enter Chittor, and that too to see one of their ladies. So Emperor Akbar and his court singer Tansen disguised themselves as sadhus and came to the temple. They heard me singing and liked my songs immensely. Later, Emperor Akbar presented a diamond necklace for my Lord Giridhar and left.
But we hear that you went to drown yourself after this incident